It was 3:30 in the morning, and I was parked at the kitchen table like a worn-out bloodhound who forgot how to sleep. The coffee in my mug had gone cold a long time ago, but I kept sipping it anyway, staring at the wall and wondering when my life slipped off the road and into a ditch. The house made those familiar pops and groans, the kind an old place makes when it settles at night. Sounded a lot like my knees and shoulders after 15 years of hauling boards, lifting beams, and swinging a hammer for a living. My name is Tom Gallagher, and once upon a time I thought I had it figured out. Good honest work. A solid marriage. A roof that did not leak. Now here I was, playing a lonely game of solitaire at the kitchen table, because my wife apparently thought I was too thick-headed to notice she kept coming home smelling like some other guy. Then I heard the front door. A quiet click. Careful steps down the hall. Lauren thought she was being slick. But after 18 years married to the same woman, you learn every sound she makes. The way her heels touched the wood told me everything. That slow, careful rhythm she used when she did not want to wake me up. The guilty walk. Working late again? I said, still facing the table. She stopped dead. I did not need to see her face to know the fear was there. I could feel it, heavy and thick, like fog rolling in off the water. Tom, what are you doing up? She asked. Could not sleep, I said. When the bed is empty, a man's thoughts start drifting. She stepped into the doorway. All 5 feet 6 inches of her looked put together like she had just left a magazine photo shoot. Even at that hour, her auburn hair was perfect, makeup still fresh, and that perfume she wore lately, the kind I never bought, clung to her like proof. The Morrison account ran late, she said. You know how demanding clients can be. I sure do, I replied. Especially the kind that leave marks. Her hand shot up to her neck. In the kitchen light, the bruise stood out clear as day, purple and loud, like it wanted to speak for her. That is nothing, she said too fast. I hit a cabinet at the office. Must have been a cabinet shaped like a mouth, I said. The color drained from her face, but Lauren had always been good on her feet. That was why she climbed the ladder in human resources so fast. She could polish nonsense until it shined. You are being ridiculous, she snapped. I am exhausted. We will talk in the morning. She turned to leave, but her phone buzzed on the counter where she had set it down. The screen lit up. Kyle, I cannot stop thinking about tonight. When do I get you again? We both stared at it. The silence stretched tight, like a wire ready to break. Well, I said, picking up the phone, Kyle sounds hungry. She rushed toward me, but I moved quicker. Years of construction will do that to you. Give it back, she said. Easy, I told her. I just want to see what kind of business you have been handling. I scrolled. Each message felt like another punch to the gut. But after enough hits, something strange happens. You stop feeling them the same way. This Kyle guy is real personal for a consultant, I said. Real involved. She started crying. Mascara ran down her face in dark streaks. I had seen her cry before, usually when she wanted something. This was different. This was panic. How long? I asked. It is not what you think, she said. How long, Lauren? 6 months. 6 months. Half a year of late nights. Half a year of kissing a mouth that was not mine. Half a year of me telling myself I was imagining things. Who is he? I asked. Ryan Cole, she said. He is a consultant. Former military. I nodded. Figures. Strong build. Expensive truck. Probably the kind of guy who never doubts himself. I set the phone down slow, like it might go off if I moved wrong. I am sorry, she said. I never planned this. But you did it, I said. For 6 months. We can fix this, she said. Counseling. Anything you want. I will end it with Ryan. Will you? I asked. Because these messages make it sound like he expects to see you tomorrow night. Something about a surprise. She closed her eyes. I was going to tell you, she whispered. When? I asked. After you packed up and drained the bank account? Or were you just going to vanish and leave me guessing where my life went wrong? It is not like that. Then tell me what it is like, I said. Explain it to me like I am one of those construction guys you apologize for at your office parties. That one landed. Her face flushed. I never said you were dumb, she said. You did not have to, I replied. Every time someone asks what I do, you say it like you are making an excuse. Like I am something you settled for. She said nothing. I stood up, joints complaining the same way the house did at night. I am going to bed, I said. You can take the guest room. We will deal with the rest tomorrow. Tom. Tomorrow, I repeated. I need time. As I walked up the stairs to what used to be our bedroom, I realized something. I was not thinking about tomorrow at all. I was thinking about how everything I believed in had already cracked, and I did not yet know what was going to fall through first. I cannot get Ryan Cole out of my head. His lake house, his big truck, his muscles stuffed into tight shirts like he is proud of every inch of himself. I keep thinking about 6 straight months of lies, and about how my wife's friends probably laugh behind my back. Poor Tom, the contractor, the guy who works with his hands. The fool who does not know his wife is being taken by a so-called real man. What eats at me the most is how Lauren always thought I was one step behind. Like I was slow. Like I would never connect the dots. Not just her either. Most people look at a guy like me and assume things. That is going to be their first mistake. Morning shows up too fast, and somehow not fast enough. I am on my feet at 5:30, same as every workday. Habit does not care if your life is falling apart. The only difference is I make coffee for 1 cup, not 2. Lauren's car is gone. She probably ran off to her sister's place to cry and practice looking innocent. At 6 sharp, Frank Delaney pulls into the driveway. He always does. 3 years straight, never late. Frank is my right-hand man. Short, wide, built like a brick wall. Irish blood, rough past, hands like iron mallets. He has a record that would scare church ladies half to death, but once he gives his loyalty, it does not waver. "Boss, you look terrible," he says, pouring himself coffee. "Trouble with the wife?" "You could say that," I tell him. I explain everything. The late nights. The messages. The other man. Frank listens without cutting in, just nodding now and then. When I finish, he says, "So what do you want to do?" "Learn first," I say. "You do not swing blind." He grins. "I know someone who can dig. Nothing illegal." "I want clean information," I say. "I am not ruining my life over this." By lunchtime, Frank is back with a thick folder. "Ryan Cole," he says. 42 years old. 2 divorces. Renting a lake house on the rich side of town. Drives a black Ford pickup worth more than most people's houses. Calls himself a security consultant, which mostly means he gets paid to look scary. Frank flips pages. Both ex-wives were married when he met them. He adds, "Guy likes married women. Likes winning." That fits. He lives at the gym, Frank continues. Posts workout videos every day. Flexing. Protein shakes. Ego stuff. Anything useful? He drinks every Friday at Mason's bar. Buys rounds. Tells worse stories. Loves an audience. I know that bar. Lauren and I used to go there years ago. Back when I thought things were solid. "There's more," Frank says. "Your wife is not the first around here. Remember Sandra Wells? Married to that accountant?" I do. I remember seeing her once hanging all over some big guy while her husband stared at the ground. "That was him," Frank says. At least 3 others I could confirm. My phone buzzes. "Lauren, can we talk?" I am at Nina's. Of course she is. Nina Alvarez, her best friend. If there is gossip, Nina spreads it. She runs a popular social media page where everyone's business ends up public. "Take the afternoon off," I tell Frank. "I need to see something." I drive over to Nina's house, but park down the street. Perfect lawn. Decorations everywhere. Lauren's car is there. Through the window, I see them on the couch. Tissues everywhere. Tears on cue. Rehearsing the story where Lauren is the wounded one. I wait. 20 minutes later, a black Ford pickup pulls up. Ryan steps out. He is exactly what I imagined. Tall. Wide shoulders. Fake tan. Tight shirt. Flashy jeans. He walks like the world owes him something. Lauren runs to him. They kiss like teenagers, hands everywhere, while Nina watches like she is enjoying a show. I take photos. A lot of them. An hour later, they leave together. Her hand on his leg. His hand on her. I keep snapping pictures. I follow them to the lake. The house is huge. Glass, steel, and money. The kind of place built to prove something. I sit in my truck and watch. I am not angry anymore. I am focused. They disappear inside the house, and I stay parked where I am. Waiting. That is what 18 years of marriage buys you in the end. Sitting alone in a truck, staring at expensive glass, knowing your wife is inside with another man. Taking pictures of your own shame, 1 click at a time. But I have learned something about humiliation. It does not last. It fades. What lasts is what you do with it. My phone rings. I already know who it is. "Tom, dear," says Mrs. Patterson, the 70-year-old widow next door. She treats neighborhood watching like it is her sworn duty. I hope I am not bothering you. Not at all, I say. What is going on? Well, it is about Lauren, she says in a hushed tone. That man with the black truck keeps coming around while you are at work. I did not know if I should say anything, but he is there again today. You did the right thing calling me, I tell her. I just think a married woman should be careful about appearances, she says. People notice things. Yes, ma'am, I say. They sure do. After I hang up, I sit there as the sun drops low and the shadows stretch long. I think about appearances. Lauren has always cared about how things look. Perfect house, perfect job, perfect life. She worked hard to keep that image clean. That is going to be the thing that breaks her. When you build for a living, you learn something important. The taller something stands, the harder it hits the ground when it falls. And the shinier the outside, the worse the damage when the rot gets exposed. Lauren wants to play games. Fine. But she forgot one thing. The man she married might work with his hands, but he pays attention. And I am very good at building things. Sometimes I am also good at tearing them down. Friday night comes around, and Mason's bar is loud and packed like always. Ryan Cole is holding court in a corner booth like he owns the place. He is surrounded by admirers. Younger guys who think muscles equal brains. A couple of women watching him like he is a prize. I sit at the bar with a beer and listen. Frank is nearby, pretending to play pool, keeping one ear open. So there I was overseas, Ryan says loud enough for half the bar to hear. Surrounded, nothing but my sidearm and my training. I have heard this story before. Pretty sure it came from an old action movie. But no one else seems to care. Especially the blonde leaning close to him, laughing too hard and touching his arm every few seconds. You believe this guy? The bartender mutters while refilling my glass. Same stories every week. Takes all kinds, I say. Ryan's voice rises again. Married women appreciate a real man. Someone who knows how to take charge. These suburban husbands, they get lazy. Stop paying attention. A few people laugh. My grip tightens on the bottle. Like the one I am seeing now, he continues. Married to a contractor. Nice guy, probably. But no spark. She tells me he barely touches her. That is a lie. We were together 2 weeks ago. Or at least I thought we were. What is her name? The blonde asks. Lauren, Ryan says. Human resources. Beautiful. Way too good for the life she is stuck in. Is that cheating? Someone asks. Ryan shrugs. I am not married. If her husband cannot keep her happy, that is on him. More laughter. I finish my beer and set it down slow. It is not serious, Ryan adds. What would I want long-term with a married woman? Right now she is just educational. The way he says it makes my vision blur at the edges. Educational how? The blonde asks. Married women are grateful, he says. They do things their husbands never even ask for. The table erupts. I stand up and walk over. Excuse me, I say calmly. Ryan, right? He looks up, annoyed. Yeah, do I know you? My name is Tom Gallagher, I say. I think we share a friend. Recognition hits him, followed by a grin. Well, look at that, he says. The contractor. That's me. I say. Mind if I sit? We are kind of busy, he replies. I bet you are, I say. You were just talking about my wife. The laughter dies. Ryan's smile tightens. She is not my wife. Just someone I spend time with. Benefits, I say. That is what you called it. Look, he says, standing up. I do not want trouble. If you could not keep her satisfied. You are right, I say. That part is not your problem. I look him straight in the eye. It is your opportunity. He steps closer. He is tall, wide, used to people backing down. You got something to say, he asks. I do, I say. Any man who goes after married women because he cannot handle competition is a coward. The bar goes quiet. His face turns red. What did you just call me? He snaps. I called you a coward, I repeat. And that is when I know this is only just beginning. A man who cannot hold his own with single women goes after the ones already married. Easier targets. Like shooting fish in a barrel. So what? Ryan says, squaring up. You want to take this outside? Not really, I tell him. I just wanted to see the man who's been sleeping with my wife. Figure out what all the excitement was about. That is when his fist comes flying. I do not dodge it. I let it land square on my jaw. The impact sends me down hard, sliding across the bar floor. My head rings like I got hit with a 2x4. Pain explodes behind my eyes, but I do not swing back. Tom, Frank yells, dropping his pool cue. I lift a hand. It's fine, Frank. Just a misunderstanding. Ryan stands over me, chest heaving, fists tight. Stay away from me, he growls. And stay away from Lauren. She made her choice. Did she? I say, pushing myself up. That's funny. She was crying about it yesterday. She'll get over it, he says. They always do. I wipe blood from my lip and straighten up. You're probably right, I say calmly. Well, it was nice meeting you, Ryan. I'm sure we'll cross paths again. Not if you're smart, he snaps. I smile. The same smile I use when a supplier tries to cheat me on lumber. Oh, I'm smarter than I look, I say. You'd be surprised. I walk out with what dignity I can manage, Frank right behind me. Boss, what was that? He asks once we're outside. You could have taken him. And then what? I say. I'd be the violent husband. Lauren would run straight into his arms for protection. That's exactly what he wants. So what's the plan? Patience, I say. And proof. I pull out my phone and show him the video. Clear audio. Ryan bragging. Calling Lauren a lesson. Talking about married women like trophies. You got all that? Frank asks. Every word. I say. Amazing what people say when they think nobody important is listening. What are you going to do with it? Nothing yet, I say. But he just made a mistake. He thinks I'm either going to crawl away or throw punches. He never thought about the third option. Ruining him the same way he ruins families. Slow. Careful. Like any good build. My phone buzzes. Lauren, Ryan told me about the bar. This has to stop. I'm filing for divorce. I text back. That's your choice. But maybe ask him about the other married women. Ask Sandra Wells' ex-husband how it worked out. The typing dots appear. Then disappear. No reply. I go home to an empty house and an empty bed. But for the first time in days, I smile. Ryan thinks he won. He got applause. Gotta feel big. What he really did was hand me the nails and the hammer. 2 weeks later, the whole town is buzzing about the 4th of July parade. Biggest event of the year. Floats, bands, politics, and fake smiles everywhere. I volunteer with the setup crew, building the reviewing stand and securing barriers. Honest work. Puts me right where I need to be. Lauren is there too, clipboard in hand. Acting important. Ryan sticks close, playing the proud boyfriend. Tight patriotic shirt. Aviator sunglasses. He looks like a poster for something he never earned. Nina trails them. Phone out, broadcasting every moment to her followers. The happy new couple. No mention of the wreckage behind them. You see them? Frank asks. Hard to miss. Want me to spill something on him? Not yet, I say. Let them enjoy the day. The parade starts at noon. I'm stationed near the reviewing stand for safety, but really I'm watching. Ryan and Lauren have prime seats, smiling for cameras. Halfway through, the high school band passes. Then the fire trucks. Then a float from Morrison Construction, my biggest competitor. Confetti cannons loaded with red, white, and blue streamers. That's when I see it. Frank, I say, come help me. We walk over to the sharp turn in the route. Remember that county fair mess? I ask. He grins. When I accidentally set off the fireworks early? Yeah. You remember how the trigger worked? I do. You think you could accidentally trip this cannon right when Ryan walks by? Frank looks at the setup, then back at me. Tricky, he says. But accidents happen. I nod. Exactly. I trust you. I say quietly. Ryan and Lauren are working the crowd like seasoned politicians. Smiles glued on. Hands shaking. Ryan is loving it. This is his natural habitat. The kind of guy who could run for town council and win on charm alone. They are about 20 feet from the confetti cannon when Frank makes his move. He stumbles. A real-looking stumble. Arms flailing just enough. He reaches out to steady himself and, purely by accident, grabs the cannon's trigger. Boom. The cannon fires straight into Ryan's chest. A blast of red, white, and blue streamers mixed with compressed air slams him backward. His arms pinwheel as he tries to stay upright. He fails. Ryan goes down hard, landing square in a fresh pile of horse manure left behind by the mounted police unit that passed through earlier. The crowd goes silent for half a second. Then they explode with laughter. There is Ryan Cole, self-proclaimed alpha male, covered head to toe in confetti and horse crap. And of course, Nina catches every second of it on her phone. Oh my God, Ryan. Lauren rushes toward him. He waves her off, face red, eyes burning. I'm fine, he snaps. He is not fine. His patriotic shirt is ruined. His sunglasses are cracked. There is manure in his hair. Sir, are you hurt? I jog over, putting on my best concerned citizen voice. That was a terrible accident. Ryan glares at me. Suspicion flashes in his eyes. Accident, he growls. Absolutely, I say. Equipment malfunction. These older cannons can be unpredictable. Tom's right, Frank adds smoothly. I was checking the safety latch when it went off. Could have happened to anyone. Ryan does not believe a word of it. But what can he say? That a local contractor planned this public humiliation? It sounds unhinged even to him. We should get you cleaned up, Lauren says desperately. I said I'm fine, Ryan repeats, but his voice cracks. The crowd is still laughing. Phone's still recording. His big moment has turned into a viral nightmare. They leave fast. Ryan stiff-backed, Lauren trailing behind, shooting me a look sharp enough to cut steel. Nice work, I say to Frank. Just bad luck, he replies. Happens all the time. By that evening, the video is everywhere. Nina posts it with the caption, "When life gives you confetti cannons." Hundreds of shares. Comments pouring in. Memes already popping up. Ryan Cole, knocked into horse manure at the 4th of July parade. My phone rings. Lauren, I know you did this. Did what? I ask. Do not play stupid, she snaps. The cannon. Ryan. All of it. I was 20 feet away, I say calmly. Ask anyone. This is harassment. No, I reply. This is consequences. She hangs up. 5 minutes later, Ryan calls. You think you're clever, he says. I think I'm a construction worker who volunteers at town events. I answer. Beyond that, I don't overthink things. This isn't over. I sure hope not. I say. The entertainment alone has been worth it. He hangs up. I pour a beer and scroll through the comments. The town is having a field day. Someone already turned the clip into a looping image. This was just the start. 3 days later, Ryan responds. I arrive at the job site to find my truck tires slashed. The word loser spray painted across my trailer. A note tucked under the windshield wiper. Back off or it gets worse. Frank lets out a low whistle. Guy's got a temper, he says. And no imagination, I reply. Vandalism? That's the best he's got. What's the move? First, I say, we call the police. Get this on record. Then I smile. Then we check the cameras. The cameras I installed last month after some equipment went missing. Hidden along the tree line. The cameras Ryan does not know exist. Officer Daniel Brooks shows up 20 minutes later. We went to high school together. He was the star athlete. I was the kid building sets for school plays. Funny how life works. Looks like someone's mad at you, he says. Can't imagine why. He takes photos. Writes the report. Asks the standard questions. Any idea who might have done this? Could be anyone. I say. Construction sites attract trouble. After he leaves, Frank and I pull up the footage. There's Ryan. Clear as day. 2 in the morning. Spray paint in one hand. Knife in the other. He looks straight up at the camera, thinking it's just a branch. Got him, Frank says. Clear vandalism. I nod. Yes, I say. But that's still not enough. Not yet. What do you mean, not enough? Frank asks. Ryan is playing checkers, I tell him. Vandalism. Threats. Muscle brain stuff. I'm playing chess. I need him to make a bigger mistake. How do you do that? You make him angry. That night, I drive past Ryan's lake house. His truck is in the driveway. Lights on inside. I park across the street and wait. At 9:30, Lauren's Honda pulls in. She steps out, checks her hair in the mirror, and walks inside like it's routine. Which tells me everything I need to know. I give them an hour. Ryan's truck really is something. Shiny black paint. Chrome everywhere. He loves that thing. It's an extension of his ego. I do not touch it. Instead, I slide a note under the windshield wiper. Nice truck. Would be a shame if something happened to it. A concerned neighbor. Then I leave. The phone rings just after midnight. You son of a witch, Ryan snaps. Kind of late for calls, I say. Some of us work for a living. You were at my house. Was I? I ask. Funny. I'm in bed. Don't mess with me. I'm not, I say. You sound stressed. Stay away from my property. Your property? I say. I thought you were renting. Silence. Ryan. I add gently. Are you feeling okay? You sound paranoid. He hangs up. I smile in the dark. The next morning, Officer Brooks calls. Tom, we got a complaint. Guy says you were trespassing and threatening him. That's interesting, I say. Who? Ryan Cole. Isn't he the same guy who was seeing Sandra Wells while she was married before moving on to my wife? Brooks goes quiet. I was home all night. I continue. My neighbor saw me outside at 10. And while you're at it, maybe check if Ryan had anything to do with my vandalized job site. I'll look into it, he says. After that, I call my neighbor and ask for a small favor. By afternoon, Ryan is unraveling. He calls the police twice more, claims he's being followed. But there's no proof. Just a man starting to sound unstable. That's the trick with pressure. Eventually people crack themselves. That night at the bar, everyone's talking. Guy came in here ranting. The bartender says, wanted me to ban Tom. Someone laughs. You mess around with married women, you start seeing ghosts. Heads nod. Opinions shift. Ryan doesn't even notice. But I'm not done. Because when he slashed my tires, he showed me something important. He breaks rules when he's angry. Now I just need to push him harder. The town's Founders Day celebration is held at Union Hall. Big building. Half the town shows up. I organized it. Invitations. Music. Projector. Everything. To everyone else, it's just me doing my civic duty. Lauren is there. She has to be. She's wearing the blue dress I bought her 2 years ago, back when I still believed. Ryan stands beside her in a suit that probably costs more than my mortgage. Nina is filming everything. Frank watches the exits. My neighbor is already spreading gossip by the dessert table. At 8 o'clock, I step up to the microphone. Evening, folks, I say. Thanks for coming. The room quiets. I know some of you wondered why I put this together. I continue. Truth is, I wanted to share something important. Lauren's face drains of color. She hears it in my voice. Recently, I say, I found out my wife has been having an affair with Ryan Cole. Gasps ripple through the room. Phones come up. Cameras start rolling. Small town history in the making. Now I know what folks might be thinking. Why do this in public? Why not handle it quietly, behind closed doors, like polite people? Ryan starts moving toward me, face tight with anger. Before he can get close, Frank steps into his path. Frank does not touch him. He just shakes his head once. That is enough. The thing is, I say, loud enough for the room. Ryan here has some very strong opinions about married women. About gratitude. About education. About what happens when husbands supposedly fail. I nod toward Frank, who is standing by the projector. The lights dim. Ryan's own voice fills the hall, clear as church bells. The thing about married women is they appreciate a real man. Someone who knows how to take charge. These suburban husbands get soft. A wave of murmurs rolls through the crowd. Like the one I'm seeing now, the recording continues. Married to some construction worker. Nice enough guy, probably, but no fire. Lauren brings her hands to her face. I can see her shoulders shaking. Nina's phone is locked on her, recording every second. What's her name? A woman's voice asks in the recording. Lauren, Ryan says. Works in human resources. Beautiful. Way too good for the life she's living. The audio keeps going. Ryan talking about my wife like she is an object. Something to try out. Something disposable. The crowd is no longer quiet. You can feel the mood turn. This is a town built on families. On long memories. On people knowing your parents and your grandparents. I pause the recording. There's more, I say. Ryan has a pattern. I nod again. The screen changes. Pictures. Messages. Receipts. Ryan with different married women from town. Dates. Hotels. Names. Months of careful work laid out in plain sight. He's not rescuing unhappy wives, I say. He's hunting them. Ryan finally snaps. This is slander. What part? I ask. Your own words? Your own messages? You recorded me illegally. Maine is a one-party consent state, I say. I checked. The crowd starts buzzing louder now. Anger. Disgust. You son of a witch, Ryan snarls, pushing forward. Watch your language, I say. There are kids here. He swings at me. This time, I am ready. I duck. He stumbles past me, off balance, looking foolish. Assault, someone yells. He assaulted Tom. Officer Brooks, who has been standing in the back the whole time, moves fast. Ryan Cole, he says, grabbing his arm. You're under arrest for assault. This is a setup. Ryan shouts. He planned this. Maybe, Brooks says calmly, but you still threw the punch. As Ryan is cuffed, I turn to Lauren. She is crying openly now. Mascara streaked. Everyone watching. Lauren, I say. Do you want to explain anything? She shakes her head. No words. That's all right, I say. I think everyone understands. The room is alive with noise. Phones out. Videos already spreading. Ryan is shouting threats as he is led away, but nobody is listening anymore. Lauren follows behind him. I do not stop her. Nina comes up to me as people start drifting out. That was intense, she says. Are you okay? I'm fine, I tell her. Better than I've been in a long time. And it's true. For the first time in months, I feel steady. Not small. Not stupid. Not lesser. Just Tom Gallagher. A working man who finally stood up. Frank comes over, smiling wide. Hell of a night, he says. Think it sticks. Oh yeah, I say. He's done here. Lauren made her choice. Now she lives with it. I look around the hall. Neighbors. Friends. People I've worked beside for years. They know right from wrong. Ryan thought he could come into our town and wreck homes without consequence. He was wrong. Lauren thought she could trade her blue-collar husband for something shinier and keep her image clean. She was wrong too. Me? I knew exactly what I was doing from the moment I saw that first message. I built something solid out of the wreckage. And for the first time in a long while, I slept just fine.